And we're live. Hey everyone, we're here today talking about your new favorite protocol that allows us to connect Bitcoin Lightning wallets to the entire online kind of economy platforms. So we're here joined today by René from Alby, and I'm actually hearing myself on YouTube, so I'll remove that. And yeah, basically, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, what's sort of your background, what inspires you around building in Bitcoin, first of all.
Sure, happy to be here. Thanks for the invite. Yeah, my background, I was into software development for quite a long time, like 15 years, the first 15 years of my career. After that, I decided to take a break and just see where things take me. Long story short, it took me to dive into Bitcoin a lot deeper. And so a few years ago, I ended up starting to work on Alby. And with Alby, we have the vision to bridge kind of these lightning payments to the place where people really are. That's also what motivates me to see Bitcoin succeed, not only as a saving instrument or, like hodl stuff, but really see it in action. And this programmable money approach really resonated with me. That's why I decided to join them on their mission.
Fantastic, amazing. So thank you for sharing kind of your backstory, and definitely I second your sort of mission of Bitcoin as not just like a nice store of value pet rock kind of thing, but actually is money that we can use. It's a freedom money that we can all use. That includes spending and all sorts of interesting use cases that are possible now online. So let's then dive in then, right? Tell us a little bit about actually the origins of Nostr Wallet Connect. Like why should we like what happened there? Why did it get created in the first place?
I think it was, I hope I remember that correctly, but I think the very first app that integrated Nostr Wallet Connect was Amethyst. And the idea really was to enable SAPs, right? So some of you might already be on Nostr. If not, you should check it out. And there you can literally send micropayments to any other contact or any other people you follow, basically anyone, by just hitting a button. So before Nostr Wallet Connect, you could also kind of do that, but it would require you to always switch into a wallet. Then you would kind of need to confirm the payment there. And then it would take you back to your social client, let's say. So with Nostr Wallet Connect, we kind of streamlined this experience, and now you could just press a button. You would connect the wallet first to this app, but from that moment on, you could just press a button and the payment would be executed in the background. No need to switch wallets or scan QR codes or anything. You could literally do that while just browsing through your feed. And that's where everything, I think, took off, I guess, like maybe 2 years ago. Something around that, maybe a bit longer. And from that moment on, I think it's quite a success story. We'll see an ecosystem map during my presentation, where we kind of assembled a few projects that hopped on this Nostr Wallet Connect train. And we're really seeing, like, over the last few months, more and more projects joining. And the cool thing is also, it's not just Nostr clients, because some users might confuse Nostr Wallet Connect with Nostr. It's maybe not that obvious, but you can use Nostr Wallet Connect outside of Nostr. And that's what we're seeing a lot. So different wallets implemented, exchanges implemented. There are several tools like extensions, native applications, and a lot of use cases just joining this team Nostr Wallet Connect, which is really exciting because the more wallets that support it, the more services that support it, the more useful it really gets, right? You always it needs to go hand in hand. You can't just have wallets adopted but no apps, and the other way around as well. You need also wallets to adopt it, and that's, I think, what we see slowly but steadily. More people and projects are joining, and yeah, we've compiled quite a list of projects that are now using it successfully, I would say.
How many projects are using Nostr Wallet Connect, have integrated it?
I have I didn't count them, to be honest, but we have we have a awesome NWC repository. I'm gonna shill it also during my presentation. If you take a look at the list there, it's just growing and growing. I would say probably 10, 50 to 100 maybe, but it's just a guess. I don't really know.
Amazing. So yeah, let's get into it. Shall we kick it off?
Sure, let's go. Happy to. Cool. All right. So the title of this talk is Bringing Superpowers to Apps and Wallets with Nostr Wallet Connect. And I want to start off this presentation with a little quote. When you have programmable money, the possibilities are truly endless. Where quite a famous early Bitcoiner said that, supposedly. And I hear a lot of talk since like forever about programmable money, but it has never really come to a point where you see it really taking off, at least over the last, I would say, 10 years or so. There are several ideas, but if we fast forward to 2025, it's still the case that we mostly just pay, send and receive Bitcoin with our mobile wallets. What does it mean? You literally take out your phone, you scan a QR code, you press confirm, and it's a very manual and cumbersome process, let's say. If that's on an e-commerce checkout where you are buying goods once every 5 years, I guess that's fine. But we're so far away from doing like really innovative or interactive or programmable payments that we wanted to really close this gap. And that's where Nostr Wallet Connect really comes in. So with Nostr Wallet Connect, we aim to kind of make this vision reality. And let's dive deeper on the problem actually first. So currently, if we take a look at the current landscape of how apps and Bitcoin related payments work, it's mostly the case that these are closed systems. What do I mean by that is, if you go to an app that has some Bitcoin payment thing where you can pay in Bitcoin, you would, most of the time, you would first create an account. You would create your identity, whatever that means, by signing up with your email and confirming it, and then you would create a wallet, and this wallet is tied to this particular app. So you can already have seamless payments, like I described before, but you would just have it in this one app. Now, let's say you go to a second app where you can listen to podcasts and stream Lightning payments while listening to this podcast. You would do the same thing again. And for the next social client, you would do it again and again and again. I think you get the point. What you would end up is like a whole bunch of accounts, a whole bunch of wallets. You would have balances distributed across all these apps, and it's very easy to lose control, really. And also, it more or less comes with the fact that these services take custody of your funds. So one very important principle of Nostr Wallet Connect was to close the gap. So it shouldn't only work for custodial services or if you have a web server running 24/7 or anything, but it should really level up these self-custodial use cases to at least an equal level. And then we can also take a look at an overview of how you would currently connect Bitcoin wallets to apps, which reiterates this closed system thing. So there are several OAuth apps around, like Zebedee. You can have the same with Alby. Then there is WebLN. It's only relevant for web browsers, which is super cool. Don't get me wrong, but also there are a lot of use cases in native apps, in desktop apps, and just programmatic payments, let's say, that are executed on a server. So there is just no possibility to run that. Then there is LN-URL auth, which kind of solves this authentication thing without passwords, but actually it has nothing to do with payments. It's just your identity, but you cannot trigger or request any payments over this protocol. And then there is also LNC, which kind of has a similar idea than Nostr Wallet Connect, but it's limited to which nodes that implement that. And it's a huge WebAssembly file. It's just a lot harder to work with compared to Nostr Wallet Connect, really. All right. So how would we envision the future of Bitcoin wallets and apps to work like? Our idea was it should be integrated, right? So you would have one wallet where you can just connect several apps to, which means they would all be interoperable. And it's just an open protocol to connect Lightning wallets to apps. That's like the very, the very foundation of this protocol, really. So what does that really mean? It allows for a sustained interaction between wallets and apps, which means you don't need to confirm every payment or go through this flow all the time, but instead you would create this connection one single time, and from that moment on it can leverage Nostr as a coordination protocol. So the relay kind of works as an intermediary. And users can just connect any wallet they have. And for the app developer, every wallet would literally work the same way. That's the idea of these open protocols, right? And the cool thing is now that it's kind of a permissioned interface, so you don't connect your node directly to an app, obviously, but you can set certain time and budget constraints for each connection. So for instance, you can say, okay, for this podcast app, I want to give it a budget of, let's say, 100,000 sats per month. And that's the maximum this connection can actually withdraw from my node. And so it's super easy to also kind of have an overview about what you spend and which apps you use versus like having 10 wallets across 10 different apps. Right? And the cool thing, one of the best things really is it doesn't matter whether that's a desktop app, whether that's a server app, some mobile app, a web application. It really doesn't matter as long as you can send some encrypted messages to a relay. You're good to go. Can be built using JavaScript, Go, Rust. I think there are tons of libraries out there already, and it's getting more by the day. All right. So next up, I want to show you how this process exactly works. So first off, the app decides to I want to connect a wallet, right? So the app creates a Nostr wallet connection. The wallet confirms this connection. And from that moment on, the app can request to pay any invoices. So this Nostr relay acts as this kind of mailbox where the app and your wallet can exchange messages. It doesn't learn a lot because all of the contents of these messages are fully encrypted. So it basically is just a mailbox. Anyone can post messages there, and allows also this self-custody use case where you wouldn't have like a public domain, let's say. And the relay just forwards these requests to your wallet, which then executes these payments. So that's really all there is. And you just connect this app once and can send as many payments as you want, as you need. So I wanna also give some inspiration, right? We're here at the hackathon, and I wanna like also show a bit what others have built or spark some imagination about what possibly you could build. So you can, like for instance, a colleague of mine built this Raycast. It's kind of a launcher application for iOS, and built this plugin which uses Nostr Wallet Connect to send payments freely. We can have a quick look how that would work. So first you would just create a new connection. You would define the budget, and then in the next step, you can see Vortex being launched. You would connect this wallet, and now the balance is fetching, and you just integrated a wallet into Raycast. One other example is the extension. So you can now just pay an invoice by pasting this invoice string. Let's see. So he created an invoice here. We're waiting for the payment, and yeah. So that's just a very plain example of how you could integrate Nostr Wallet Connect in a desktop application. But you can literally integrate the wallet into anything now. So you can even create like another example, a Discord bot to send sats between community members. So there is this sat bot which you have connected to your Nostr Wallet Connect wallet. You would do that once. It's a very similar process like we've seen before. Obviously, that might differ a bit depending on which wallet you use, but more or less it's the same. So you just connect it once. So once you have configured it, you can zap other people on Discord. How cool is that? Spending all of his salary on setting.
Wow, that's epic. So Discord emojis are connected to Sats balances, but that's
exactly,
if the other user has a wallet as well, right?
Exactly, yeah. So they everyone would for one time need to connect their wallet, but from that moment on you can just click this emoji and yeah, the default SAP amount, you can also configure it here, right? So every time you click this SAP emoji, it would just send this payment to the other person. And that's just an example. I mean, there are several examples out there on Nostr, social apps that work in a very similar way. So it's not like a brand new or like super innovative thing. But the cool thing why I brought this here is because it really shows how you can also bring wallets to like existing tools. You don't need to recreate a Lightning based chat or something, but we can also infuse Slack or Discord or things like that with these wallets, and that allows like pretty cool use cases, I think, because people are already there, right? It's not that you need to find the people and build the platform, but you can solve a lot of things possibly and drive adoption by just integrating these things in existing tools.
That's super cool, and I think that's a great example.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously, like programmable money also means it's not just one payment, but you can also just set all of the people there, right? So there is a command set all, and it will just send a SEP to all people in this group, right? So for Nostr Wallet Connect, it doesn't really matter whether it's one payment or 100 or yeah, it's just programmable money.
Yeah, awesome. Very, very cool. Very cool example.
So then we have some more things Nostr Wallet Connect really enables. So these things aren't really possible today, like with these flows of scanning QR codes and stuff. I am using a hosting service that I can pay in Bitcoin. And what I do is every month I would get this invoice. I would log in to the customer panel. I would go to this pay invoice page. I would pay an invoice of, I don't know, like $10 or something. And that takes me a total with logging in and like pulling up this wallet stuff, I guess, of like 10 minutes. And it's super disappointing, I think, because with like Nostr Wallet Connect, that could be completely automated. I think if we really wanna get Bitcoin to a point where it's really used as a payment, a tool for payments, I think we must do better than that. And if you compare it to the credit card experience, let's say, it's just worse, right? Who would go into their account and enter their credit card details every time, every month, right? That's like that's like what is happening, more or less. So with Nostr Wallet Connect, I'm super bullish about subscriptions, because that's like, I think, a multi-billion business, like software as a service or any web app that you use literally has subscriptions built in, and you can do that now with Nostr Wallet Connect. In a
assuming wallets will in time integrate Nostr Wallet Connect,
of
right?
course, yeah. Of course, yeah. Wallets need to adapt as well. That's like this chicken egg problem,
right?
But we're really seeing like some adoption there. So I'm hoping this moves on, because it's also like super useful. Also, we as Alby, we really charge. So we have this hosting service for Alby Cloud Hubs, and we also dogfood this ourselves, right? So we charge these subscription payments using Nostr Wallet Connect. So what we do is user subscribes to this plan, and every month we just pull the money. They have set the budget, which is like literally the amount of sets their subscription costs, and every month we pull that money, and that's just working more or less seamlessly. That's just, I think, super cool to see.
Amazing. There was someone who've asked the question here, why don't you broadcast via Nostr? If you have any, and by the way, taxes are robbery. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, agreed. Why not Nostr? I think you can answer that, right?
Well, yeah, Nostr Wallet Connect is built on Nostr, right? And but Nostr by itself is not gonna do that. Nostr is used as a communication layer here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you mean something else here, but because we are, right, that's what we're doing.
I don't know if you're on Zapstream too, but maybe if not, that could be maybe an option to also stream it there.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I need to figure out how to do that, but we will.
Because I think they also have Nostr Wallet Connect built in, so people could just zap us if they agree or disagree.
Yeah. Absolutely, but yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think I would have to. Let me see here. I think I might. I think I did have the connection before, but it failed a few times, so I dropped it. But yeah, next time we'll do that with that one.
Yeah, let's have a look at that. I think that's also super cool.
Yeah, definitely agreed. Yeah, here's another question. Was Nostr Wallet Connect born from a failure of Lightning?
I wouldn't necessarily say so. I think Lightning just has like initially just had different use cases in mind, let's say.
Right.
I don't know if it makes sense to include things like subscriptions or periodic payments in the payment protocol itself. Right? It's if you think about the legacy world, also with credit cards, it's not that the MasterCard network or the Visa network on a protocol level can do subscriptions. You just have several like providers like Stripe who manage these recurring card payments for you, and I think that's a very similar thing is happening here, which for me makes sense because the payment itself is just very different from these subscriptions, and like handling overdue payments, retrying payments, and all of this stuff. I don't think that's a very good fit for Lightning itself, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. And Lightning already does, the main job of Lightning, which is also protocols have to be simple, right? But it's possible that we will live in a world where there's all sorts of protocols doing all sorts of different things, and
Yeah,
yeah, it does make sense for that to happen across different systems that are, however, interoperable with each other. And Nostr Connect is interoperable with Lightning, it's interoperable with Nostr,
yeah.
and yeah, that's
I often refer to it like a remote control for your wallet. Like it's a unified interface that every wallet can implement, and it's a way to remote control your wallet by being able to list the transactions or send payments or create new invoices. Like a lot of different use cases around that. Yeah.
right. So at Alby, you guys are building on Nostr Connect, talking about it all the time. There's all sorts of builders building on Nostr Connect. You're probably in touch with a lot of other wallets that are considering integrating Nostr Connect. And I think if you're a developer, right, that's building on, deciding what protocols to integrate, are you going to be you're going to be paying very close attention to what are the what are the bigger markets, right? So right now,
Yeah.
in terms of wallets, there's, I think, around a handful, right? So there's Alby, there's, say, nodes like Start9 and Umbro. There's, I think, Flash's wallet. I think that's pretty much it. There may be another or two, but are there other wallets, like bigger wallets, that you know of, that you can reveal, that or do you know if other wallets are also working on it or thinking about it? Because I think this could be a really, really big pushing factor to a new developer to think about building things on Nostr Wallet Connect, if it is the case that big wallets are going to be integrating an Nostr Wallet Connect.
Yeah. I cannot drop any like big names currently, but what I can say is we're constantly trying to lobby for it. So also this hackathon is kind of a way to get this message across. And I think once people really understand how powerful this idea is, I would hope also demand comes from this side, because users don't really want to manage 10 wallets, right? And if you take that to the self-custody level, it's even unmanageable, because you would need to manage channels of 10 nodes, right? That's just not feasible for users. It's even hard to manage one, right? It's still way too hard, probably for most people. So I think, yeah, it's kind of a touches process. It requires constant effort to show what you can build with it and what all the use cases can be built on top of it. But we've seen some interest also from bigger wallets. I don't think they launched in production yet, but at least there were several also bigger ones that looked into it and said it's they want to implement it. It's obviously also a matter of priorities, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. And speaking from Geyser, right? We have not integrated Nostr Wallet Connect. We do want to. It is on our roadmap, but it is a matter of priorities at the moment.
Yeah.
And it isn't. Startups have to focus and have to be able to focus on finding product market fit, survival, all sorts of issues. And right now, Nostr Connect, you're right, it's a bit of a bet, right? It's a bit of a leap of faith because it's so new, but the possibilities are really, really big.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Cool to hear that you're also thinking about, because also, like, I mentioned it here, the donations part, but so we have built SAP Planner, which allows you to just schedule payments on, let's say, a monthly basis to any Lightning address there is. So you can just send 1,000 sats a day, a week, a month, every minute, if you like, to any Lightning address. And like also with Geyser, I think this continuous support would be quite powerful, right? I mean, if you get a user to pay on a continued basis, it's worth mostly a lot more than just having this one single time. I would
Yes.
suspect, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. The big challenge again is the wallets, right?
Yeah.
We did a initial integration with Flash, but we didn't see really pretty much any activity.
Yeah.
That's why we decided to close it when we did the
Yeah.
refresh upgrade. And part of it was UX, part of it is just the lack of adoption. And we did it to kind of bring up noise around Nostr Wallet Connect. But perhaps that was really way too early. But we definitely will be looking back into it and implementing it in a way that is even more seamless,
Yeah.
and also enabling it as a so subscriptions, even if the two sides don't have Nostr Wallet Connect, we have some ideas of ways that we can sort of not enable the actual payment, but sort of remind people about the payment. And there's better implementation that we're looking to build.
Okay, yeah, looking forward to see that, yeah, in action. Yeah.
Cool. Here we have another question. Hey, also presentation fan, please. I'd like to know if I can use Nostr Wallet Connect to facilitate payment for a Bitcoin marketplace platform. It's a good question.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it always depends a bit. I would say what you have to find out first is who is paying whom. Like, just draw a little sketch and say, okay, is this peer-to-peer? Does some share go to the marketplace itself? Do they just exchange goods and services on your platform without you being participating? But definitely, yeah, you can do that with Nostr Wallet Connect. You can, on the seller side, you can generate invoices, and on the buyer side, you can pay these invoices with Nostr Wallet Connect. So instead of, like I mentioned before, instead of for every purchase having to take out your phone and scan and do stuff, you would just connect your wallet one time, and then they would have like a similar experience than this Amazon one-click checkout or something. They would just click the button, it would be paid. Yeah. So yes, you can definitely do that.
Very cool. I think there's a follow-up question here. Does Nostr Wallet Connect give access to escrow and fund disbursements automation? Yeah, that's a really good question. Because it's, yeah, go for it.
To escrow, I don't really know what you exactly. Do you understand the question?
Yeah. So I think there's two bits. The escrow bit, I think, implies that the funds are not held by any one party, right? So, I think the answer to the escrow is no, right? Because Nostr Wallet Connect, the funds are always held either by one party or by another. And what's actually just happening is just the dispatchment of funds is scheduled and some way automated. And the second bit is the funds disbursement automation. I think that's where it's possible. But I think that's how I read it. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess so. If Destiny Smart wants to clarify, feel free to maybe explain a bit more. Yeah, but escrow in that sense, no. Yeah. I wouldn't say so. Yeah. So with Nostr Wallet Connect, you can send payments to another person. What is also possible, just for the sake of completeness, is you can, I think, also use hold invoices using Nostr Wallet Connect by now. So not all wallets implement that, of course, so be aware of that. But maybe that's kind of this escrow thing where you can kind of get the money, but only settle the payment once, like some other thing completed, or I don't know. I would need to know the exact payment flows probably to get a better answer there.
Yeah, makes sense. But we're not talking here about a smart contract, right? We're not talking here about
No.
a smart contract where the funds go to and are locked. No, that's a very different type of
It's
functionality.
different. And also if you have a Nostr, you as an app developer, if you have this connection secret, it's not a guarantee that you can pull these payments, right? You still rely on the fact that this user has funds on his node or has like liquidity and stuff. So it's not a guarantee, but if they do, it's like with credit cards, right? You have this credit card number. It's not a guarantee that you get this this money by any means. So the credit card could expire. They could have insufficient funds. There could be some like algorithm running and saying this is high risk payment or whatever they do there. So yeah, it's a way to pull payments, but not a guarantee. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, that's awesome. Right, we have other people looking. But yeah, I think we've covered quite a lot. Do you have any other things to cover? Do you think we've missed?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like this subscribe feature, I would love to see that again. Also, we have just a few slides more, maybe, to finish, to really wrap it up.
Oh, sorry, I thought we had done with the slides. Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. It's not too many of them, I think. So also we in the hub have integrated like several ways to continuously support different the Bitcoin Design Foundation or the Human Rights Foundation open sets. So you can just set up these recurring payments with a few clicks, and you can also do it to any Lightning address you want, of course. And what we're currently experimenting with a lot is that you can also charge for AI tokens using Bitcoin. So AI is like a super hyped thing at the moment. Everybody's talking about it, and we were like thinking, okay, how could we build services using Bitcoin to charge for these things? So my colleague Roland built this super cool app. Let's wait. Oh no, the screenshot isn't loading. That's sad. I'm going to post a link afterwards. I'm still going to mention it, which is Free Pilot. It's a service where you can literally post a link to an issue, to a GitHub issue. And what this thing does, it checks out this project locally, it forks it, it checks out the project, it reads the issue, and with Goose and some LLMs, we're trying to implement this issue. So the AI is doing lots of stuff, and in the background, they're using some Claude or whatever models to accomplish these tasks. And first, you would just connect your wallet. So we cannot offer this service for free, but we also don't want you to add your credit card or offer any subscription. It's just usage based, right? So if you have a big project, a big issue, these things might cost a bit more. It's just not known beforehand how much this will cost. That's also quite an exciting use case, I think, for Nostr Wallet Connect, where you can attach these wallets either to agents, or if you're building an app, just charge users for using your AI. And what this Free Pilot, it's, by the way, it's open source on GitHub, but what this Free Pilot does in the end is it checks out the project, it implements the issue to its best knowledge, it creates, and it even creates a pull request. So if everything goes well, and we have tested that quite some times, more or less successfully, I would say, you could just review the PR and merge it if everything's all right, or have like 80% of the issue implemented and then like figure out the last 20% on your own and try to fix things. It even writes automated tests, so it's it's my new companion.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And what do you love it? What about it do you love it the most?
It takes away Tetch's work from me, which I don't like to do. It's making me a lot more efficient. So instead of like trying to fiddle around with different syntax and, you know, like coming up with test cases and scenarios for different things, I would just write an issue and outline what I was actually trying to do. That also forces you to think about what you're actually trying to achieve a lot more, which is also a good thing, even if you then end up writing it yourself. Yeah, but still, I think that's quite powerful. I guess a lot of things are happening there. And most of these AI services just use your credit card, right? That's just how it works. We have some exciting projects there with pay-per-query, where you can just pay in Lightning on a per-query basis. But that's literally the state we are right now, yeah. And with Master Wallet Connect, for instance, you could do that while also preserving like your privacy, right? So you don't have to tie your identity to your GitHub or whatever account and tie every query you have with your like real identity. It's just a way of disconnecting these things. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, no KYC, no identity, no custody. It's just a communication protocol that connects Lightning to the Lightning ecosystem application, but also even it goes beyond Lightning because it goes and seeps into the world of fiat. So can you tell us a little bit about that? Like I've seen what's it called? Bridgin. There's now also the Wave
that
space.
space. Yeah.
Right. So how are they using Nostr Wallet Connect, and from your understanding, to bridge to the world of ECH and Visa and so forth?
Yeah. So I just watched this demo from Wave.space yesterday. The way I understood their product, which they just launched, I think some days ago, if I remember correctly, was that you would get a credit card. So they are also trying to bridge these two worlds a bit. That you would get the credit card that you can use to buy anything online. Right, you can use it on Amazon or like every website that accepts credit cards. And instead of manually prepaying this card or topping it up, you would on Wave.space, you would configure like your, what did they call it? Like purchase power or something. So you would define amount of, let's say, 50,000 sats that you always want to have on this card. That's literally the amount the maximum amount you will spend in one purchase. So whenever you pay in some store online, they would deduct this money. The Visa networks needs to have this money in their system, right? They cannot just withdraw it from your Lightning wallet. So it's still kind of prepaid, but it's fully automated. So whenever you pay, they would just pull the money from the node that you connected to the Wave.space account. So you could set like $50, then you pay $10. The next moment, these $10 are again pulled to this prepaid card using Nostr Wallet Connect, and you can again use $50 for your next purchase. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. That's very interesting, isn't it? Because that's literally building Nostr Well Connect, doing what it does best, the communication protocol that is also money, you could say currency agnostic. That's how you know you build a good protocol. Or what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, the thing transferred via Nostr Wallet Connect is still, it's not transported via Nostr Wallet Connect, but the protocol is still used to exchange Lightning invoices, let's say, right? So it's never fiat that is being moved around, right? But it's a clever way to kind of bring these two worlds a little bit closer together. And even if you have a self-custody node where you manage the liquidity and you are fully self-sovereign, you can still kind of get all the advantages of having a credit card, right? Which is backed by your Bitcoin, not exactly, because you cannot spend Bitcoin over the Visa network, right? That won't happen today or tomorrow, I guess. But it's some kind of clever way to just offer the benefits of such a solution, while at the same time including all of these self-custody use cases, right?
Awesome, man. This has been really, really great conversations. If you look, say, just like, I think, to finalize and to give you kind of looking forward, right? The world. So you guys started building Alby, say, 5 years ago or so. You saw the emergence of, the growth of Lightning has been incredible. You then saw Nostr launching, now Nostr Wallet Connect. What's next? Say, what's next for the future of, let's say, Alby, for the future of Nostr Wallet Connect, for the future of new protocols that might emerge in the next 5 years?
Cool. That's a wild one.
Tell me the future.
Yeah.
Of everything.
Your predictions are hard, right? Especially about the future. But anyway, what will the future of Alby look like? I hope that Nostr Wallet Connect gains more traction. Is, like you said, it's a very simple protocol. That's also, I think, the strength of Nostr itself. But like I said, it doesn't necessarily need to be any Nostr related app. It's just a way of passing messages back and forth. So it can also easily be extended. So we're seeing some interest around even on-chain wallets integrating Nostr Wallet Connect, and trying to pay on-chain. I think some eCash wallets have also integrated Nostr Wallet Connect. So hopefully it kind of emerges as this protocol that unifies all of the different implementations, because that's like, you only get this network effect if enough people join this mission, right? If you just have 3 wallets and 5 apps, this will go nowhere, because the usefulness is just not high enough. But we're really pushing hard for adoption on both sides of the spectrum, and also trying to stay on top of all the proposals that are out there. Offering tools also to make it easier for developers. I might want to skip some slides here, but I definitely want to share how you as a developer can get started with Nostr Wallet Connect. So we've put together quite some resources here. First of all, NWC.dev. That's a great place to start, where you see also some demos of how this could look in practice. Obviously, Alby Hub, our self-custodial Lightning wallet, implements Nostr Wallet Connect. you can connect that to your Get Alby Connect. And the thing I wanted to explicitly mention for people who now want to take the next step, right? Might have listened to this conversation and now think, okay, but where do I really start? Like where can I take the first step, let's say? We've also created this web component library, Bitcoin Connect, which is a set of components that makes it super easy for you to integrate into your web application. So if you, let's say, have this Bitcoin peer-to-peer marketplace, it's probably the easiest way to get started. You can, at some point in time, you can still do your own implementation and you will come across things that you might want to adapt or whatever. But if you really just want to get started, I think Bitcoin Connect is a great fit because literally with like 5 lines of code, you can already send and receive payments on your website, and you can even adjust like the theme and stuff like that. So feel free to check that out. We also have a Discord server on Alby where we regularly answer questions. So if any of the participants of this hackathon have some questions, feel free to join that button. We're happy to be in contact with you.
Awesome. So at Alby, you guys are building all these incredible protocols for free, open source for the community, and really in an effort to keep growing this ecosystem of builders, of developers on Australian Connect. So do you mind if I ask you just like where does then Alby come in? How does Alby build itself as a business? Because you guys are providing incredible tooling for the ecosystem, connecting you with your own nodes. You're not custodial wallet anymore. Do you want to give a little bit of words about that?
Yeah, sure. Happy to talk about that as well. That's a good question. Like I mentioned on GetAlby.com, so our main product right now is Alby Hub. Alby Hub is the self-custodial node that's also open source. You can download and run it for free. And what we do on GetAlby.com is we try to offer a way to host this package of software for users who might not have the technical abilities to do so themselves, who just want to pay a few dollars a month and have that thing kind of managed for them. So they don't need to, buy some home server or have their notebook or computer running 24/7 and stuff like that. So that's one thing we're currently doing, where some of our revenue comes from. And we're also experimenting with let's say value for value based approaches. So even if you run Alby Hub on your own hardware at home on your home server, you can set up like these subscriptions, so just monthly payments to support development. And you can also get
that may seem small, but that does go a long way. So definitely make sure to zap back to the Alby community, because it does make a big difference if you add everything up, right?
Yeah, I think there's a long way to go still, but like you said, it makes a difference. Maybe we're just a bit small as as a community right now, so companies cannot fully sustain on that income, let's say. But extrapolate that like maybe a few years out, and given we have some more adoption, I could totally see a world where this makes sense. And it's also today, it's those are just, people don't have to do that, right? But they still do it. And I think that's also what we as Bitcoiners need to promote a lot more, to pay for products you use. you know, like to if if you don't, there is this famous thing, right? If you don't pay for the product, you are the product. So if you use open source software, just send or zap a few sats. It might make a difference in the end if enough people do so. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, man. It's been, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Also about where Alby comes in, the resources that you guys provide, the tooling you create, and the like the role, like the key role you have in the community in terms of growing all these open source protocols. So I really appreciate it. Any final words of wisdom or anything else?
Go check out NWC. I really urge you to take a look at the examples and just experience yourself how awesome this this feels if you just like zap around like wild. It's this vision. Just to mention, this is also very important if you want to see what others have built. Check out this repository. There are a lot of examples and also a lot of open source code that you can look into how people actually use it. But I want to end it with this one. When you have programmable money, the possibilities are truly endless. And I really hope to see some nice projects coming out of this hackathon. Some new ideas sparkling some new ways to integrate payments into your apps, or that would be amazing to see. Looking forward to that.
Amazing. Yeah, likewise. I will kind of catch on this point and keep shouting out to launch a project, even if it's just at the idea stage, or if you have some initial thoughts, if you have design or just like an idea, you can just get started by creating a project on Geyser, and we can connect you to experts like René, the Alby team, the Flash team, and you can, with even little understanding or know-how, we can connect you to the right people so you can launch your project and even start off with winning some grant money. So yeah, don't be scared. What we're trying to smooth it out. There's still some friction along the way, but what's key is like we want to see ideas flourish. We want to see builders build. Right, when I see builders build on these solid foundations of Bitcoin and Nostrovella Connect and Freedom Money. So yeah, let us know how we can help you further, guys. But really excited about what this protocol has to offer. Looking back, if you look forward 5 years from now, I think we'll look back to now, we'll think, my God, those projects that launched on the grants, on the Alby grants, look how far they've come. It all takes just a push, and hopefully this grant is that initial push. So thank you guys all. Any final words of wisdom, René, and then we'll close it up.
No, that's it from my side. Thanks very much for having me, Mick, and for organizing this great hackathon. Kudos. Yeah.
Amazing, mate. Absolutely a pleasure. And again, thank you so much for going so in depth and being so meticulous on the details of all of Nostrovella Connect. We'll make sure to reshare it because it has some really good intros to how it works and why it exists. So thanks again.
Cool. Sure. It's a pleasure.
All right. Cheers. All right. Say